I feel as though it's pretty fair to say that most people have a misconception when it comes to badges in NBA 2K26. What I mean by that exactly is getting the most bang for your buck, so to speak. And I know that's a weird expression. I don't even know why that came to me. But basically, what tier should you actually go for your badges? For example, we're going to start out with Ankle Assassin. Should it be bronze, silver, gold, Hall of Fame, or legend? This one is actually pretty easy because thankfully we got 2K labs that come in clutch and they did a crazy amount of tests which help us out realize that you only need this silver or gold for it to activate all the time. So this isn't a badge that you have to crazy think about and have like super high priority. I have a crazy amount of builds in NBA 2K26, and I have tried Lightning Launch on every single category. I've tried it on bronze on my centers, I've tried it on silver, I've tried it on gold, I got it on Hall of Fame, I used badge +2 to get it, or max +2 to get it on legend, and I can safely say that you should either get it on gold, bronze, or legend. And I know that sounds weird, but if you're on a big, you only need this on bronze. Doesn't really matter that much. But we're talking about every build in general for the badges that we're talking about today. So the best way I can explain Lightning Launch is, it makes a difference, but unless you're really trying to be the point guard who's dribbling crazy fast, you really don't need this to be on legend. Gold will be fine, and you will definitely notice a big difference between gold and silver. I definitely can tell you that much. Lightning Launch, I would aim for gold on most builds. Moving right along to Bailout. When we're talking about badges, Bailout definitely comes to play. It's a playmaking badge. You don't need it on anything besides bronze. I actually forget the exact pass accuracy you need to get Bailout, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty high. I think it's like 84 to get it on bronze. So it's kind of hard to get it, but I definitely recommend you do get it on bronze because it will save you in the scenarios where you're pulling up, then you realize you're not going to make the shot and you pass out, and then, if you don't have this on bronze, 80% of the time you're throwing that ball out of bounds. And if you have it on bronze, it's honestly like 20% of the time you're throwing out of bounds. So I definitely recommend you get Bailout on bronze. You don't need it on any high tier. Nobody needs 97 fucking pass accuracy. You just don't need it. Unpluckable, honestly, I would say silver here because I've noticed a bigger difference between bronze and silver. And it's kind of hard to tell because strong handle comes into play as well. And both of these kind of go hand in hand. You could put them both on silver. You could put them both on gold. You don't really need it higher than gold. You're not going to get stripped as often as you would think as if you have it on legend compared to gold. It's really not going to make that much of a percentage difference as much as I've tried it out. But in talking about the best value, you really want to have these on at least silver. You want them higher than bronze. You want them on at least silver. Ideally, you could argue you could put them both on gold because gold, I've noticed a bigger difference over silver. But we're honestly talking about bare minimum and also value. In terms of valuable badges, there are very, very more valuable badges than unpluckable and strong handle. Versatile finisher, gold for 2 builds. If you're a point guard, you want this on gold. If you're a center, you want this on gold. Because as a center, you will get way too many turnovers without Versatile Visionary on gold. It's just one of those badges you got to get for your center. And if you're a point guard, obviously you're passing the ball all the time. You want your passes to be pristine, and this badge activates all the time. It's very good. I noticed a much bigger difference over silver than gold, so I definitely recommend gold. I have run it on Hall of Fame, I've run it on Legend. It really isn't even required at all. I wouldn't say it, it obviously gives you smoother passes, but you don't need it. Just don't need it. And if you're not on a point guard or a center, then you could probably run this on silver or bronze, and you're probably chilling. Handles for days, legend. 100% legend. I have noticed a crazy difference between even Hall of Fame and Legend. Between Gold and Hall of Fame, crazy difference. Between Silver and Gold, crazy difference. Between Bronze and Silver, crazy difference. 100% handles for days on Legend, or the highest you could possibly get it. And it's how often you can dribble. You know what I mean? You got dribble moves. You're trying to do dribble moves. You want that on Legends so you dribble quicker, first of all. You also lose less stamina so you can dribble more. And it's one of those badges I can't even understate how important it is, or overstate how important it is for you to get this badge as high as possible. Break starter, same thing, bronze. Dimer, gold. I've run diamond on so many different things. It's kind of hard to calculate because, you know, you got different teammates sometimes, so it's hard for you to tell. But as long as you're running this on gold on most builds, you know, you're chilling. If you're not obviously a person that passes the ball as often, you can run this on bronze, you can run this on silver. But for the majority and the average person, I would say try to get this on gold. Set shot specialist. Okay, bro, I'm telling you, I am a shooter. Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame. And when I say I'm a shooter, I've taken thousands and thousands of shots. And I'll tell you the craziest thing. I have literally noticed a difference between gold and Hall of Fame a lot. You don't need it on Legend. Legend, obviously, you'll hit more shots. But get this to Hall of Fame, because I'm telling you, have you ever been in the corner shooting a three and you brick it and you're like, bro, I thought I timed that perfectly? That happened to me a lot more often on gold, and on Hall of Fame it happens to me literally almost never, and it would happen to me on gold. So I definitely recommend you get set shot specialist to Hall of Fame. And even if you're a point guard, honestly, every single build should have set shot specialist at least Hall of Fame. And if you could get higher, Legend would be good. Limitless range, I would say silver. Gold will help you, but you know what? Nobody's really required to take deep shots. You have a smaller green window no matter what. So even if you have this on Legend, it doesn't even matter. Limitless range is not going to help you that much. Like, you still have a smaller green window. No matter what, you have a smaller green window if you're taking a really long distance shot. So you might as well run it on silver. You could aim for bronze, you could aim for gold, but I think silver is just like the medium average ground. If you don't really need this badge, but whatever you can get it to, you know, silver is a good average spot. Mini marksman, honestly, if you are on a small build, I have noticed a difference. You want this on gold. I've tried it on bronze, I've tried it on silver, I've tried it on gold, and I've tried it on Hall of Fame. I haven't tried it on Legend. But I definitely say gold is the sweet spot here. Shifty shooter, oh my god, before the patch, this was cracked, bro. This was cracked in Season 1, and everyone would put it on Legend. Shifty shooter nowadays, like, honestly, I would almost go as low to say silver. But the one thing is that I will say puts it as gold as opposed to silver is because there are going to be a lot of standing shots that you take that actually have shifty shooter pop up. You'd be surprised. And especially as a point guard, you know, as a point guard myself on most of my builds, shifty shooter pops up all the time, even when I'm not even fading. So that's why I would say gold. You really notice the difference between gold and silver. You don't necessarily need this on Legend anymore. Hall of Fame obviously would, you know, drastically improve your shots. But unless you're a point guard, I wouldn't even go for Hall of Fame shifty shooter. For most builds, sometimes you're still going to be shooting while you're dribbling. So I would say, even if you're not fading, try to get shifty shooter to gold. Deadeye is one of the most underrated badges in the entire game. I don't know about you, but especially on 5v5 game modes where you have people quitting and then you have an AI on you. All of a sudden you have an AI on you, you can still pass me the ball, I'll shoot, and I'll still green with that AI on me because of this badge. Try to get this badge, Deadeye, as high as possible. It is so good, bro. It's just so good. People will be jumping in your face and you'll have less of a contest. If this badge wasn't on, you could go from like a 50% contest to like a 12% contest if you have it on Legend. Like, it really is that good. Challenger, oh my god, Challenger, honestly, I would say gold. I think gold is the, you know, sweet spot, but I'm actually going to put it at Hall of Fame because Challenger is a very, very broken defensive badge. And I think it is just one of those things that if you can get it as high as possible, try to get, you might even be using max plus ones to get it to Hall of Fame, max plus twos to get it to Hall of Fame. But I've noticed this badge pops up all the time, and defense is half the game, so you got to remember that. It's very important. On ball menace, I would say silver. Silver is the sweet spot for this badge. It doesn't activate as much as you would even think when you're even considering you're guarding someone. It doesn't even pop up that often. Glove, silver as well. Where is, I'm looking for, there it is, Interceptor, because Interceptor goes hand in hand with Glove. Glove is one of those balls where you're trying to steal it on the ball. You really don't get that many no matter what. So unless you're, you know, going for it, you could even keep Glove on bronze, I would say. But Interceptor, I've noticed a crazy difference between gold Interceptor and silver Interceptor. Definitely get that to gold. Gold Interceptor, you're going to be getting a lot more lane steals. I highly recommend you get that up. See, a lot of people go back and forth with Pick Dodger, and in my humble opinion, I'm going to say bronze, because Pick Dodger is one of those crazy badges that, like, unless you're guarding the point guard every single time and you're, doing all this stuff, the only difference I even noticed, I've tried them on every single category, is Legend. Legend Pick Dodger is goated. I'm not going to lie, it is goated. But the amount of value that other badges and other attributes have over Pick Dodger is why I would just have it on bronze. Bronze in every build, try to get it up to silver if you can. Gold obviously would be a lot better. But the major difference I noticed with Pick Dodger is Pick Dodger Legend. Pick Dodger on Legend, and you're going to be running around screens a lot more often. Post lockdown, same thing, bronze. I mean, not even that many people are really doing post fades and post hooks. Like, it's not even that common nowadays, especially in this 2K. So put this on bronze. You might not even need it on bronze. And obviously the skill that's going to come way more into value when you're guarding someone on the interior is going to be your strength, which is why we talk about Immobile Enforcer. Legend. Immobile Enforcer is the best defensive badge in the game. 100%. I literally would stake so much on this because this badge is broken. I have tiny builds. I'm talking 6'1", 6 foot builds that literally are fucking locking people that are 6'8", 6'9". I'm locking them up because I'm strong. I got strength. This badge activates. All of a sudden they're sprinting. They're trying to drive down the lane. I run into them. They literally stop in place, and it's like I'm a lockdown. I'm like a lockdown, bro. This badge is amazing. Legend if you can. Legend if you can. Box out beast for the average player, I would say silver. Silver for the average person, silver. I mean, not much really to talk about. It's kind of like rebound chaser. On most builds, you're going to have it on bronze or silver. On your, high tier center builds, you want to have it at least gold. Hall of Fame would be optimal. Legend would be really great. But you know what? This is a little bit more relevant because it's, it's different for each build, so it's kind of hard to say. But for the average person, I feel like the average person is running this on, bronze or silver. Off-ball pest. Honestly, Hall of Fame. I've noticed this badge is so good, especially if you're not covering the guy with the ball. All of a sudden, if you're holding on to someone, it kind of allows you to follow them around, bro. It's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cool. Off-ball pest, I've noticed it not the biggest difference between Hall of Fame and Legend, and much more of a difference actually, surprisingly, between Gold and Hall of Fame. So I would recommend off-ball pest on Hall of Fame. It's going to be really, really helpful for defense. Paint Patroller, same thing. For most builds, you know what? I'm going to put it on gold. I wish I could put it in Hall of Fame, but it's so good for blocks. But it's not, it's not necessary for your small forward build to have 92 block. You know what I mean, bro? So I think we will put it at gold, even though I do notice a difference, a good bit of a difference between gold and Hall of Fame. You know what? Fuck it, bro. We're putting it at Hall of Fame. Paint Patroller, if you want to get blocks, Paint Patroller is going to help you with that. High Flying Denier, bro, I don't even know what the fuck this badge is because I've had this badge on Legend on a build, and I swear it didn't help me get blocks. I don't understand. Maybe this badge is broken. It never fucking would activate. I would never see it pop up ever. I don't think I've ever seen High Flying Denier pop up. I've gotten blocks and I haven't seen fucking High Flying Denier pop up. I don't even know what the hell. Pogo Stick Gold. If you can, I mean, it's kind of relevant to your box out. If you have, high vertical and high box out, Pogo Stick is definitely going to help you, especially if you're guarding people that, be driving a lot and are on the interior and you're not really guarding the shooters as much. Definitely higher tiers of Pogo Stick will help because you can jump and then re-jump and then re-jump, you know what I mean, rather than jump and then they go and then they score. Brick Wall, Brick Wall is probably one of the toughest ones because I've noticed a crazy difference between Brick Wall of Gold versus Brick Wall and Legend, especially on a build that I have a build that's not a shooter. That's just some massive motherfucker, bro. And Brick Wall and Legend, and they be falling down like crazy. So it's kind of specific though, you know what I mean? On an average build probably has this on bronze, you know what I mean, bro? So it's a little specific, so it's on an average build, bronze, but obviously in certain situations you can still have that on Legend and Hall of Fame and gold on certain builds. Slippery off ball, I think silver or gold is the most accurate for this one because it's okay. It definitely helps you, but you know what? If someone's running, that's why I said off-ball pass on Hall of Fame. If someone's running off-ball pass on Hall of Fame and you're running slippery off-ball on Hall of Fame, they're still sticking to you like glue. And that is all the badges I'm going to go over today, because I didn't want to go over the finishing badges because, truth be told, I'd be a little biased about it. I'm not a finisher. I'm definitely on all these. You know, I'm a playmaker, I'm a defender, and I'm a shooter. That is who I am, and that is what I can give the best opinion on. So all of the finishing badges, I personally I looked at all of them, and like, yes, some of them I could rank, but I feel like in terms of accuracy, I would rather just talk about the ones that I could really be accurate with my guide and what I'm talking about. So, you know, what do you think for finishing? Are there any really, really good finishing badges? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you next time. Take care of yourself, and peace out.